Welcome to the Hospitalist Training Series video number 2. At this point, we've successfully logged into Windows and opened PowerChart. We have opened DMO, which will actually open at the same time you open PowerChart, and we configured our phone to work with it. You can also use one of the speech mics, and I mentioned this all in the first video. So the first thing you're greeted with in Cerner is the message center. I'm going to go into a test version of PowerChart for demonstration purposes. I'm going to click down here on an alternative version. We're not using live patient data to respect privacy. Works very similarly. And you'll notice over here in the message center, this is where we can sign orders. Let's say you're on another floor and you have to call in an order, or you're away from the hospital. Something happens and you can't immediately put it into a computer, so you telephone the order in. Of course, we discourage doing that as little as possible, but we know that times will occur when that has to happen. So you'll go over here to your orders and you'll see that you'll have, like in this case, I have 88 orders to be signed out of 88. If I sign 5 of them, then it'll drop down to 83 orders. So I'm going to sign some of these orders. Now you'll see that I've got multiple patients with multiple orders on the same patient, and this can be confusing because one way I can sign everything, if I really wanted to do it this way, is say select all and right click, and then you'll have the option to approve all. But in this case, there's a reason I'm not seeing that option. But that's a little bit of a dangerous approach because then you don't really know everything you're signing. So what you can do is select the name of a patient, click on select patient, and that will pull up just that patient's orders. Now I can say select all, right click, approve, and I've signed those orders. I'll unclick select patient to bring up my list again. An alternative way to do this, a slower way, is just to double click on the message itself. It will bring up the order. You can review it. You can look at the info, the history. So the history gives you the option to look at when it was taken. Let's say you have a question about the order, you can get everything you need by looking at the history, looking up here, see who took the order, comments, and validation, even the results. So I can actually double click in here and look at the results of this MRI. And I can say approve and say OK and next. That brings me to the very next order. So I keep doing it that way. And that's the most thorough way to do your orders. But it's not always inappropriate to go and sign orders in batch, especially if you were just made the orders, you're familiar with it. If it's clear in this window what the order is and what you're signing, then it's not inappropriate to sign them all in batch. So once again, I can do the same thing and just sign for this particular patient by saying select patient, which will pull just that patient's studies, select all, right click, approve, and I've signed those orders. So in this case, you'll see Lauren Test has a lot of orders, so I can say select patient and pull all her orders. Undoubtedly, these came from an order set. So if I'm happy with those, I can say select all. And I've signed those orders. At this point, I've co-signed all my orders for that patient. When I unselect the select patient, you'll see that there's still 53 out of 53 orders to sign. 47 are co-signatures. Now the same applies to documents. You see I have 44 documents out of 57 to sign. Out of 57, I've got 37 of them I need that need signatures, and 20 of them that need a review. And I can do the same thing. I can bring these documents up one at a time by double clicking them and reading them. So at this point, I think you get the gist of situation and how this works. It's nothing too fancy. It works like a typical email browser or viewer or software program. So we'll stop the video here and we'll pick up with patient lists for hospitalists when we come back.